Eye on Gauteng, brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Economic Development.
If gold is all that glitters, then Gauteng was a place to be with the first gold rush. Nowadays, the conversation is all about beneficiation. We're here at Rand Refinery that have been processing gold for the last 90 years. Now, will they continue for the next 90? Let's find out. Howard Craig is the managing director of Rand Refinery. A civil engineer by training, his career inevitably led him into the mining industry. As a goldman, he knows the value of Johannesburg, Africa's bullion capital.
Gauteng was built on originally the gold mining industry, but obviously there's other mining industries as well. And I think we still have a very vibrant mining industry in South Africa. And Gauteng will always be a center for mining just because so many of the mining houses and the smaller mines are located here in Johannesburg. It has this heritage, and I think it will continue to be a mining center going forward.
This refinery is highly rated, a feather in the cap of a gold province, one of the oldest in the world and the first to invent a bullion coin. The yellow metal here is smelted to a 99% purity.
So what we do is we take the mine doré, which is at its least purified form from the mine. We put it through our processes. We bring it up to purities of up to 99.99%. And from there we make value-added products. So we have been manufacturing and marketing the South African Kruger Rand for the last 40 years. It was the very first bullion coin in the world. And it's still one of the largest volume circulation coins in circulation. We also make bars of varying sizes and shapes and weights. And these products are sold around the world, from the Americas through Europe, through the Middle East, across into the Far East. We also have a smelter where we process waste materials which contain gold, for example, electronic scrap, so all the motherboards and circuit boards from computers, cell phones. These get collected overseas, get crushed. We bring the material here, we take out the gold and the silver. But there are many other waste materials that we also process. We are the only refinery in the Southern Hemisphere, in fact, that's accredited through the London Bullion Market Association. In fact, there's only 5 refineries, 3 in Switzerland, 1 in Japan, and South Africa. We're one of the oldest refineries, not the oldest, but one of the oldest. As I said to you earlier, we were the first marketer and manufacturer of the Kruger Rand. About 1/3 of all the gold that's ever been mined has come through this particular facility. So we're very proud of our heritage.
The gold industry is reliant on safe, functional transport systems. Rand Refinery has flourished thanks to Gauteng's infrastructure.
Well, it's the largest single-site smelter and refinery in gold, which is quite a unique position that we have. So we're able to take the waste materials through the smelter, push it straight into the refinery on the same site. You know, we have a huge capacity here in our refinery, and at the height of the gold mining industry in South Africa, the mines were producing around about 1,000 tons per annum. Unfortunately today it's only about 220 tons that get produced in South Africa. But we put through close to 500 tons because of the ability to source from the rest of Africa. And latterly we're also sourcing scrap material, which is a huge industry on its own, where individuals off the street will bring their gold jewelry bars to a trader who will actually then pay them cash for it. Somebody's got to refine that, so we're getting more and more into that field as well.
The Rand Refinery is one of the entities that the Gauteng government hopes will do their part in helping the province grow its economy.
Gauteng is at the center of South Africa's economy. I think the MEC for Economic Development and her department and the teams around her have realized that and are taking up this challenge, and I know that they've got some really exciting projects that they are promoting in Gauteng. But I guess the proof will always be, do these initiatives create jobs? Because that's what this economy, Gauteng, but in general the South African economy needs.
The Rand Refinery, together with some of its partners, is involved in an important beneficiation program. It's called the Ekurhuleni Jewelry Project and trains youth from disadvantaged backgrounds in the art of jewelry making.
Okay, you have to file more on the left.
Lincoln Mukwena is part of the supervision team. The idea is to teach youngsters the art of design. In a world where black jewelers are a scarce commodity, and here the pun is intended, the importance of the program is obvious.
The students are from Soweto and the others are from Ekurhuleni. They are here to make jewelry and to start knowing about the basics of starting how to make jewelry, because most of the people out there, they think that jewelry is being made with the machines and stuff. Some of it has been made, but now we are trying to make them understand the logic behind handmade jewelry, because you can't go into new technology without knowing the manual way of doing handmade jewelry.
From the East Rand to South Africa's richest city, the business of beneficiation resonates. This is African Romance in Sandton, Johannesburg, a prime address for a prime company doing big things in the diamond and precious metals industry. Mohsin Musa is the man behind this business. He was one of the youngest senators in the first parliament of South Africa's democracy. Now he's on the other side in the business world. He had a dream that South Africa beneficiate its own minerals and precious stones.
Somebody had to create a luxury brand with our precious metals and our precious minerals. And in more than 150 years of mining, nobody had created a luxury brand with our diamonds and jewelry. And there was the sense that if you wanted to have a luxury item, it had to have a brand that came out of Europe or the US or the Far East for that matter. So somebody had to do this. It's been a difficult and challenging road, but we began the process in 2005, and by 2007 we had launched the business.
Your understanding of beneficiation, what is it in the most simple layman's terms?
We have been mining diamonds, gold, platinum, coal, manganese, iron ore, and a whole range of things on the mining side. We haven't had much of an industry downstream. There's been this notion that all that you do in Africa is you dig holes, you take out, all the precious things, and then you go and make it somewhere else. And I think the Southern African and African economies generally are stepping up to the game and saying, hold on a second, we also have people to feed, we have jobs to create, and we have things to do. And if you're going to be taking raw materials out of our ground and manufacturing raw materials locally, we'd like you to use it locally and export finished products. So, beneficiation is a big word for something that's actually very basic and obvious.
Please talk us through the process of when you get the rough diamond until the final process and what you do at African Romance.
Effectively, we have a couple of processes. So we have a sorting process where diamonds that are purchased come into the facility. And when they arrive in the facility, we look at every single diamond that we buy, and we analyze the diamond to see what's its potential value and what it can potentially become. Once we've sorted that out, we log the diamonds onto our systems, and so every single diamond gets a barcode, a 6-digit barcode initially, and then a 7-digit barcode when it's ready to go. And the diamond moves through a fingerprinting system through our production process with that particular diamond. In the planning stage, we use very sophisticated 3-dimensional technologies in order to analyze the full shape of the diamond, and we have software that will give us thousands of variations of what the diamond can become. One big diamond, 2 small diamonds, and so forth. We're also analyzing where are the inclusions in the diamond, are there any flaws in the rough diamond, any potential things that can happen while we're making the diamond that we need to be aware of, such as pressure, such as fluorescence inside the diamond. In the next stage, we laser burn the diamond and cut it in half. Most diamonds are cut in half. if we're not going to cut it in half, at least we'll take off all the excess pieces because we can resell the chips and keep the revenues going.
What was the greatest challenge in setting up your business and making sure you're a success in this world where there are big players that have been there for hundreds of years sometimes, and you're just a new entity?
The barriers of entry are high. It is a closed industry, and it was actually quite difficult to crack in. It's taken years for us to level the playing fields, partly because we're dealing not only with real problems but also with perception problems. The real problems are that we are in a corner of the world that is far from key markets. We are an exporter. About 50% of all diamonds we've ever polished has been exported from the country as GIA certified XXX diamonds. But there's this perception that, wow, it's not coming from Belgium, it's coming from Johannesburg. So you're dealing with that kind of perception problem. The real problems were easier to deal with because we know that South Africans can handle any technology anywhere in the world. And so for us to have trained our people, 94% black, 48% women, to be able to handle the world's best technologies was easy. There wasn't a difficult part of it. The difficult part was getting people to believe that we actually can do this and that we're doing it. So the perception issue was, I think, our biggest challenge.
Are you happy with what government is doing with regards beneficiation, with regards your industry and the mining sector? Are you happy with the noises they are making? Should government be doing something else, maybe, perhaps? What is your opinion?
In the diamond sector, the biggest challenge we face is that we can't get hold of our own diamonds as a country. Now, I'll give you an example. We mined in 2010 13.2 million carats of diamonds in South Africa. The state diamond trader, which is meant to create access to local diamonds for local polishing houses like ourselves, bought 400,000 of that 13.1 million carats. So let's call it just about a couple of percent, about 3, 4, maybe 5% of the total country's production was bought by the state diamond trader. Of that 400,000 carats they bought, only 15,000 carats were sold to local South Africans for polishing in the 2010 year. So what happened to the other 385,000 carats? They got exported by a state diamond trader that was designed to build the local industry. And I like to put it in a way that will shock people. If you looked at, therefore, translated what the state diamond trader what role he had played in the industry in the 2010 year, and you translated that into jobs, it would emerge that the state diamond trader created 70 jobs in South Africa and about 1,500 jobs in another country, India. We want to be competitive businesses. So let's not use the wrong terminology, because it might sound like what we're saying is, oh, we want some favors because we can't compete and we don't want to be competitive businesses. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that local industries and sectors play a very important part in a whole range of things: creating jobs, building sectors, generating revenue, paying taxes, helping with balance of deficits, exports, all sorts of things.
We're taking a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we look at some industries that will help to catapult Gauteng's economy. Stay with us.